Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to be taking a look at the INT Gotenks versus the Omega event. Now, this event, I think Gotenks is going to be significantly better than he is for the Zamasu event. And all things considered, to be fair, like we did the Zamasu video yesterday, he's not exactly bad against Zamasu. Turn 1 is kind of the scary turn, right, where his start of turn defense is not very high. You're kind of relying on him getting that 50% chance to dodge so that he dodges the AoE. But then, of course, once he gets his super off and then you get into the next turn, he transforms into a Super Saiyan. He carries over some of that defense from the previous turn. He's actually got a decent enough defense that he can tank those AoEs and everything from the second turn onwards. So he's pretty decent against Zamasu. Of course, the problem comes with more so the fact that, you know, you've got to dodge that AoE on turn 1. You've got to dodge the supers, and especially against the physical Zamasu in phase 2, you have type disadvantage. Now, when it comes to the Omega event, obviously Omega, the first phase is tech, and he doesn't do AoEs, right? So Gotenks is not really going to be in much danger in these first couple of turns. He's going to be able to get his attacks off. Now, you can't dodge in the first phase, right? Dodge is disabled completely. However, it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference for this Gotenks because, like I say, he's not a slot 1 unit, right? So you're not going to be putting him in slot 1. He's not going to be getting, you know, eating that super in slot 1. As long as he's getting his attack off first, he will tank normals from this tech Omega perfectly fine. And then he might take some damage from a super, especially if it's like turn 1. But he's not going to be getting one shot by this Omega, right? So Gotenks works out pretty nicely at the start. And then, of course, when we get to the STR AoE phase, not only are the STR Omega AoEs not as dangerous, Gotenks, of course, at that point will be in the Super Saiyan form, has the 50% chance to dodge. Once you dodge the first attack, you get the extra 20% as well. And then, of course, the big thing is, you know, we were held up a little bit in the Zamasu run yesterday. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, but we basically got to transform into Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks on the very final turn where Zamasu was basically dead. If we'd gotten, like, you know, one additional super or something the turn before, we would have beaten Zamasu before we got to the point where Gotenks could transform into a Super Saiyan 3. Whereas the Omega event is a little bit longer, and we should be able to take very full advantage of the Super Saiyan 3 transformation for INT Gotenks. And of course, remember, like, the turn that he transforms, he gets guaranteed crits. He's got 70% chance to dodge. Once you get the first dodge, you then get the separate 20% dodge chance as well, as whatever you've given him in the hidden potential will be a separate chance. So you can have multiple different chances to proc dodges. Because in Omega, he does like to AoE a lot, right? He can be AoEing like 2 or 3 times before he actually... before you even get to attack sometimes, which is kind of annoying. But, you know, here's what it is. We'll let Piccolo go off here. So, Gotenks, you can see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, when you get to the second turn with Gotenks, he only super attacked once on turn 1, right? And he's at 600k defense start of turn 2. So, he's not going to take much damage from this Omega. Obviously, his super attack, he's greatly raising his defense again on super. So, even a super attack from this tech Omega is just not going to do anything to Gotenks, right? But it's right, we get Piccolo to go off here. I was about to say Piccolo's not going to do a lot of damage to Omega anyway, but of course now he's going to do very little damage to Omega because he's sealed. But that's, you know, all the better for Gotenks, because ideally we want Gotenks to be getting additional supers because he does carry over that defense raise for a couple of turns, right? So the more supers you get in the one turn, the better he's going to look on the next turn, which is why it's a little bit unfortunate for him to end up in situations where you are just finishing off the enemy without him really having the chance to do anything. So we could go ahead. I mean, I got both the Gokus on the same rotation, which is not really ideal, but could go ahead and just use one of the Dragon Fists, I guess, and see where the super is. Mine, the friend is only 55%. Is literally the first attack in slot 1. I was going to say, watch it be the slot 1 attack. So I guess we can do this then. Do that. Obviously, he's going to counter the super and then have guaranteed dodges for the rest of the turn. So we can go ahead and grab those. Grab those for you. Get you floated off here. And then get the Dragon Fist off in slot 1. These are the kind of times when this works out exactly the way you want. we didn't really want to have double Goku on the same turn, but go ahead and use the active skill early here, and then counter the super. Funnily enough, he heals basically all the damage from the Dragon Fist, but that's we're all good here now. So yeah, looking pretty decent for Gotenks here so far. This next turn will be the first sort of test for him, because like I said, the initial phase being tech, he's not really got much to worry about. Like turn 1, him eating a super, turn 1 is where he'll be at his lowest in terms of defense, but he's not a slot 1 unit, right? So even if he eats a super slot 1, ideally you've put him in slot 2 or 3, so he's gotten to super attack first, and then hopefully he'll be a little bit better off in terms of you know, that tanking ability. I think was it Super Saiyan 3 Goku not dodging the AoE there? Definitely not ideal. Although, what have we got on the next turn? We've got Kid Goku again. Kid Goku, as long as we get the 7 orbs, we'll be fine for Kid Goku. Which we should be able to do here fairly easily. So we can do this. Gotenks is at 485 here. And then, yeah, we can just do this and then do this. So giving everybody that little bit of extra damage reduction is good. Gotenks, of course, is a youth character. Piccolo dies to this, doesn't he? Okay, so we're back to the SDR phase here. Slightly different setup for the rotation. I did get immediately supered in slot 1 on the last turn, so I wonder if he is going to be supering this turn as well. Let's see. He is supering again as the very first attack of the turn. Okay. Alright, well, Gotenks got a double super last turn. Now, one of the things with Super Saiyan Gotenks that I don't know if we really got to see in the previous one, but because he raises attack on super, the attack stat jumped up by a pretty significant amount. It's only a normal attack raise, so I was kind of surprised. He did like an 8 point something and then straight into like an 11 million. Which is pretty good. And then, of course, by having the greatly raised defense for 4 turns, he's at 616k defense start of turn here, which is obviously very, very good. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Of course, everybody has a defensive buff as well because of the Super Saiyan 3 Goku standby. But this is obviously very, very good here. Gotenks gets to super before the AoE as well. Although on this rotation, with 600k defense at the start of the turn, like, he's going to be tanking the AoE perfectly fine anyway. So definitely a good turn here for Gotenks. Hopefully we can get the double super here. But we're 1 turn away from being able to go Super Saiyan 3, which means we will get to INT Omega. We'll either kill him this turn, and we'll get to see Gotenks versus INT Omega on the next turn, or obviously we'll get to, I think it looks that's going to be the case now, we're going to kill him on the next turn, and then get the INT Gotenks to go Super Saiyan 3 in the very first turn against Omega. And hopefully we should see a pretty spicy turn from him, because of course when you go Super Saiyan 3, guaranteed crits on that first turn. He should be doing a pretty decent amount of damage overall. We should have a pretty solid rotation, considering him and the Dragon Fist Goku, both very hard-hitting units. Who are we going to end up with in slot 3, though? I think we might end up with a pretty awkward rotation, because the one thing I was about to say before Piccolo got absolutely annihilated in the first clip there is that the Kid Goku on the team, Path to Power Kid Goku, he can provide the damage reduction to the rest of the team with the orbs, but he's also supporting youth, right? It is youth and not just DB Saga, right? Where is it? Where am I looking? DB Saga or Youth. Yeah, 2 key and 50% attack and defense. So he gives a pretty significant buff to everybody. To Gotenks, I should say. Not everybody, obviously. Man. Well, I guess we're doing this. I want to try and make sure I get the orbs for Path to Power Kid Goku, but I mean, that is 7 orbs, but that's going to... Man, there's a lot of physical orbs, right? That's got to still be... Yeah, I was going to say, it's annoying when you have a bunch of rainbow orbs, but then the chain kind of gets broken. But yeah, Blue Gogeta has a 100% chance to dodge. We actually might not finish him off. Him getting the heal, we actually might not finish him off this turn. But it all kind of depends on... Yeah, Gogeta is kind of the only unit on the rotation that does damage. And unfortunately, one of the reasons why a lot of people prefer the 5-year Vegito over Gogeta is you will very often see this turn where he just does 2 additional normal attacks as the attacks from his passive. Then we did get the hidden potential additional super, but yeah, unfortunately, not exactly ideal. Also, he hasn't supered in slot 1, which was kind of the hope, considering Gogeta would just dodge it guaranteed, because we did get the orbs for Kid Goku, so I mean, if he supers Piccolo, then we're fine. But unfortunately, Path to Power Kid Goku's kind of become a little bit of a liability in the more difficult content now, and especially against a type disadvantage boss. He would absolutely be getting killed by the super. So fortunately, it is on Piccolo, who dodges a normal attack straight afterwards, of course, because that is always the way. 200k. Oof. Yeah, see that you can see the huge difference between where the AoE damage like drops off after those first hits. Because does he tank the normal attacks for decent damage, or are we getting killed here? Oh, we got the dodge. Whew. Alright, well, we got a heal, because remember, Gotenks, once you get to a certain point, the same turn where you could potentially get the transformation into Super Saiyan 3 if you had enough HP, Gotenks has the chance to heal you at the start of the turn, which we did get. However, unfortunately, it didn't heal us to enough to get the transformation. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. The only reason I actually bought the battle tank as opposed to any of the other items is because I don't have the... I still haven't finished the mission to use it 3 times. I've only used it twice. And then in any of these other videos I haven't used it. And obviously we've been doing the World Tournament, so haven't been using it in there. So might as well get that use out of the way here. And then we can complete that mission at the end of this run. So... But yeah, took an extra turn than I thought. Things got a little bit dicey there on that previous turn, but we are moving on to Int Omega now. I think we will... this is going to be an interesting turn for sure. Now, I don't know whether it's going to be best here to go for using the item so that we kind of guarantee that we get the Gotenks transformation turn. Because all of these AoEs, like, I don't know how I feel about Gogeta taking all of these AoEs, you know. So I think we will do this. We will go ahead and use this, because we do have the STR Goku on the other rotation that does have the Dragon Fist ready to go. So ideally we just put the Dragon Fist Goku in slot 1, use the standby, and then Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks in slot 2, with the Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist Goku partner. Hopefully then... I mean, the thing is, against Omega, this is the turn where we're truly going to see what Gotenks versus Omega, whether or not he's good for this event, is because it's all going to come down to, does he get those dodge procs against the AoE? And if he doesn't, then we could be in trouble. He did get a super off on the previous turn, so he is going to carry over some defense, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for him to be tanking these AoEs. And of course now on this turn, where we're not trying to finish off the phase as quickly as possible, Gogeta actually getting the additional super from his passive, although then he only gets a normal from the hidden potential. So actually, never mind, the exact same performance as that other turn. And then Piccolo in slot 3, obviously not going to do much damage, just there for the support more so than anything. But right, now this is definitely a very good turn for Gotenks. So we're going to stand by with Goku. Is he supering? He's supering there. So Goku's got to dodge all of those attacks in the first... This is the other problem with the Dragon Fist Goku, right? He's got to dodge 4 attacks. Otherwise, we do potentially get a lot of damage here. So we'll go ahead and transform into Super Saiyan 3. We might as well do this as well. So now that we are Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, we got the nice Super Saiyan 3 links active. 50% support from the Kid Goku. So am I going to be able to get... If I do this and then grab the Int Orbs, that should be Yeah, perfect. There we go. Alright, so Goku's got a little bit of extra damage reduction, but we really do need him to be dodging. Gotenks, there's the first dodge, which means that he gets the extra 20% dodge now as well. Goku. Okay, as long as that's the only one, then we should be okay. Okay, good. Alright, because then the next attack is the super, which he guaranteed counters. Gotenks has dodged everything. Kid Goku, type advantage, plus the orbs for the damage reduction, so he takes double-digit damage. Then Goku hits the Dragon Fist here with the Super Saiyan 3 link, so nice little bit of damage as well. He now automatically dodges everything else. And then Gotenks, yep, dodging everything. From the Omega AoEs with his start of turn defense, remembering he's also got the little bit of extra damage reduction from Kid Goku, I think he does actually tank them pretty much for double digits anyway. And his attack stat here is 18 million. For this first super. Now, that is with 50% support from Path to Power Kid Goku, which obviously is a lot. But, yeah, this is definitely a pretty good first attack for him. And then, of course, as a Super Saiyan 3, when he transforms, he gets a guaranteed additional. And on the first turn, we're getting guaranteed crits. So there's a 17 million crit. Then we drop a 19 million attack stat on top of his head, which is guaranteed crit as well, of course. And then, sadly, no additional from the hidden potential, though. That's the turn where you want that third super's going to be doing over 20 mil, and then with a guaranteed crit, it's just good night, Omega, right? So, unfortunately, Path to Power Kid Goku not going to be able to finish off our boy here. Although, actually, are we going to be able to get the... Oh, we are. God, when was the last time we saw this? Well, there you go. We'll end off the event. I mean, I guess technically we should do it in slot 3, right, because of the techers, but he's going to die, hopefully, right? So, yeah, I can't remember the last time we saw this active skill, but Blue Gogeta, the final Kamehameha. So if we take him out, we obviously get the nice little KO screen, the hand flick. Of course he didn't. All right, well, I guess we just get the, I guess we'll just get this one instead then. So, well, there you go. INT GOTENKS versus Omega. He's definitely very good in this event. Very strong in the first phase, thanks to the type advantage, not having to worry about like slot 1 supers. And then once you get to the STR phase, you know, you can carry over defense from the previous turn, which makes him more than decent enough to tank the AoEs, or he just dodges them. And then when you get to the final phase, the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, I mean, he dodged every single one of the AoEs and then dropped a huge amount of damage on the INT Omega. So Gotenks himself, very, very strong for this event. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.